Hello, dear students. Today we are going to start our fourth unit of software testing, that is defect management, and our today's topic is defect and defect classification. So, what is a defect? Basically, there is something which is created problem while we are developing an application, that is called a defect, and defect is identified by a developer, right? So it is something by which the customer requirement don't get satisfied. Basically, the difference between expected result and actual result is called defect. Now you have performed seven practicals of manual testing, right? So you are now understand if there is a difference between an actual result and expected result, then its status is failed because it is not satisfying the customer requirements, and we can say that it's have a bug. So that test case is having bug. So defect is a specific corner about the quality of an application under test. Defects are expensive because finding and correcting defect is supposed to be a complex activity in software development. Means we have to find a defect and again we have to rework on it to fix it. Okay, so it will take a time, it will take a efforts, it will take a manpower, it will take a resources. That's why its costing is also going to high, and also it becomes a complex activity, right? Next is causes of defects. So after that we have after the causes of defect we are going to see the classification of defect. Okay, so first we'll see causes of defect. The requirement defined by the customer are not clear, and because of that something development team makes some assumption. If customer is not giving proper requirement or its requirement is not clear, then the developer side teams or those stakeholders who are the part of that communication, okay, so they are taking some things, or they are assuming some things which are not cleared by the customer. So because of that wrong assumption also, it will causes a defect. Okay, the software design are incomplete and doesn't accommodate of the customer. Okay, if your designs are incomplete, and because of that you are not able to proceed to the development, okay, for the development, so that's why it will also cause a defect, right? So people working on the product design, development and testings are not skilled. If you don't have any skilled persons to work on that particular application, okay, or for testing, so it also cause a defect. Next, the process those are intended for product design, development and testing are not capable of producing the desired result. So if we are proceeding wrongly or we are not proceeding properly, so it will also not able to produce a desired results, and it will cause a defect. Okay, so these are the causes of defect. Next we'll see the effects of defect. Due to the defect present in system, customer has total dissatisfaction about the system. If there is a defect in a system, so customer is not able to satisfy with it, right? So what kind of effect happen if the defect is present in your application? Okay, there are some various serious effects of defect as given below. So first is performance of the system will not be at the acceptable level. Performance of the system is not be at the acceptable level, so nobody is going to accept it. Okay, next, the security of the system can be problematic and there are changes of external attack on the system. If the security is poor, so there is a chances of external attack on the system. Then third one is a required functionality might be absent from the system which may result in rejected of the system, like the customer. Means customer is not satisfied and he is going to, or he or she is going to reject that system. Okay. uh, Next is causes of defect. Why the defect occurs? Sorry, we have already seen the causes of defect. Next, we'll see the defect classification. Uh, Basically, defect is classified in four types, that is requirement defect, design defect, coding defects, and testing defects. So basically there are two parts in requirement defects, that is functional defects and interface defects. Next is design defects. There is also two categories, like algorithm defects and interface defects. Next is coding defects. There is a syntax defect and multi-threading defects. Next is testing defects. There is also two types, the test design defect and test tool defects. Okay, so we will see this in details, right? So first is requirement defect. Requirement defect means at the time of collecting a requirement, if we are taking collecting a wrong requirement, okay, so it will cause a defect. Okay, so uh, when a developer can't understand the customer requirement properly, the requirement defect occurs. Basically, the requirement defects can be further classified as functional defect and interface defect. So, what is a functional defect? The customer expected functionality is not present in the system. Then it is called as functional defect. What is customer is expecting that is not present in the system. So, it is called as functional defect. And what is the interface defect? If the defect remains in the module when one module is interfaced with the another module, then it is called as interface defect. If there is already a defect present in the one module and it is going to be interfaced with the other module, then it is called as interface defect. Okay, so I hope everybody is understand what is the functional defect and interface defect. Okay, next is design defect. If the software design is not correct or created without understanding the requirement, then design defect occurs. If we are not if we don't have clear idea about the customer requirement, or we are not planning according to it, or our planning is totally wrong, or we are going to the wrong direction, so definitely according to that planning we are going to design. And if we are not if our design is not correct, then definitely it causes a defect. Okay, so there are design defects can be further classified as algorithm defect and interface defect. If the design of algorithm is unable to translate a requirement correctly, I am repeating this, if the design of algorithm, whatever the design of algorithm you are using for your application development, okay, is unable to translate it's unable to translate the requirement correctly, if it is not fulfilling the customer requirement correctly, then algorithm defects occur. Means you are not using proper algorithm to implement your system, then it is called as algorithm defect. Okay, next is interface defect. Due to lack of communication, the interface defect occurs when parameters from one module doesn't get passed to the other module correctly, then interface defect occurs. Okay, so this is all about design defect. Next is a coding defect. If the coding standards and design standards are not followed properly according to the organizational guidelines, then the coding defects occur. So you are not using proper coding standards and design standards which is given by organization, then definitely the coding defects going to be occurred. So basically there are coding defects are classified into two parts. First is a syntax defect and second one is multi-threading defect. What is the syntax defect? It means mistake in writing style of the codes. everybody is familiar with the syntax defects. Now from last 2 years you are using a programming language, okay, to perform your practicals, right? So everybody is familiar with this syntax defects. If you are not write code in proper manner or in a proper way according to the coding standards, then it is called as syntax defect. Okay, it means a mistake in writing the style of code. It also focuses on small mistake made by the developer while writing the code. The next is multi-threading defect. It means running or executing the multiple tasks at the same time. So means you are going to run more than one task at a time, then it is called as multitasking. Okay, right? Hence in so your multiple task is executing. So processor is processing that both tasks at a time, so it is called as multiple threads. Okay, so multiple threading process, there is a possibility of complex debugging. In multi-threading processes, sometimes there is a condition of the deadlock. Means one process, what is the deadlock? If one process is waiting for another process and that another process is also waiting for the first process, so both the processes are in the waiting phase, and that process is called a deadlock. There is cycle is created, and that process is, means all processes are waiting for each and other, and the cycle is going to be created. Everybody is waiting for each other. Okay, so that is a phase of deadlock. If that deadlock occurs, then all processes are going to be stopped. That is called as starvation. And system is going to be fail. This is the actual problem of multi-threading. Okay, so we have to consider this also while writing the code. Okay, so this is a main example of coding defect, right? So we'll proceed further. Next is testing defect. If the testing is not conducted properly, then testing defect occurs. If we are not properly follow the testing process, then the testing defects are going to be occurs. There are various types of testing defects. Are test design defects. If the test plan, test case, test scanner and test data is not properly defined, then test design defects occurs. And now everybody is familiar with this. Everybody preparing a report, so if you are not properly mention your test cases, okay, then not using proper input data, so it is going to be a major cause for a testing defect, right? So next is a test tool defect. If there is a defect in the test tool, then it is difficult to identify and resolve the defect. Okay, if you are not using a proper tool for a testing, if suppose that tool is under the maintenance, and then also you are using that tool for the testing, so it will cause a defect, right? So these are the major reasons in a testing defects. Next is the defect priority. Everybody is familiar with the priority and severity. Okay, so the priority is defined as the order in which the defect should be resolved. So you are going to give a numbering that which process must be processed first, and which would be the second. Okay, the priority status is usually set by the QA team while raising the defect against the developer team, mentioning the time frame to fix the defect. The priority status is set based on the requirement of the end user. Okay, so you are going to be set a priority status based on the customer requirement, right? For example, if the company logo is incorrectly placed in the company web page, then the priority is high because it is a company logo. That's why we have to we have it's a high priority that we need to set it properly, right? But its severity is low because if we are not that resizing or we are relocating that particular logo, then it will not going to affect any other or major functionality of application. So it's having a low severity, but its priority is high because it represents the company. So its priority is high. I think I know everybody's every now everybody's have clear this concept that what is the severity and priority. Severity means affect. If we are not fix that issue, then what is the effect happen on the particular system, it is called as severity. Okay, which function it is going to be affect. Okay, and what is the priority? Priority means which issue must be fixed first. So it is based on severity also. In this case, like in the company logo case, where the severity is low but the priority is high because the logo represents the company. So we need to first fix that issue, we need to first fix that logo, right? So that's why I have taken this example. Next is priority listing. Okay, so what are the priority listing? Basically it is categorized in the following ways. First is low, then medium, then high, then urgent. Low, this defect can be fixed after the critical ones are fixed. Means if priority is low, then we will keep that particular defect, and we will wait for major defects is fixed, then we'll going to be fix that defect. Okay, if the priority is medium, the defect should be resolved in the subsequent builds, so we can fix it in the subsequent builds, or we can fix it in the next version also. If the priority is high, the defect must be resolved immediately because the defect affects the application to the considerable extent and the relevant modules cannot be used until it is fixed, right? Next is urgent. The defect must be resolved immediately because the defect affects the application or the product severely and the product cannot be used until it has been fixed. So it is called as urgent. If the module is not fixed, then we can proceed further. So its severity is urgent. Its priority is urgent. Okay. Next is defect severity. Severity is defined as the impishedness of the defect on the application and complexity of code to fix it from the development perspective. Impishedness means you need to find out the impact. That if the defects if there is a defect, so what is the impact of defects on the overall application. If the impact of defect is high, then we need to fix it first. Okay, so impatience means a impact, right? It is related to the development aspect of the product. Severity can be decided based on how bad or crucial is the defect for the system. The severity status can give an idea about the deviation in the functionality due to the defect. For example, for flight operating website, the defect in the generating the ticket number against reservation is a high severity and also a high priority. If there is a problem in generating a ticket number against the reservation, so if the ticket number is not mentioned, so for the reservation, then it is a major issue. So its severity is also high and its priority is also high. Okay, there is a several severity listings. It is critical. If the issue is critical, then severity is high. If it is a major, then severity is low. Okay, so defect impacts most crucial functionality of application and the QA teams cannot continue with the validation of application under test without fixing it, so its severity is high. Okay. The defect impacts of a functional module. The QA team cannot be test the particular module but continue with the validation of the other module, then its severity is low as compared to the severity 1. Okay. Next is medium and severity 3. If the defect has the issue with the single screen or related to a single function, but the system is still functioning, the defects does not block any functionality, then its severity is medium. Okay. And last one is severity 4, that is low severity. It does not impact the functionality. It may be a cosmetic defect. It is if the theme color is going to be different from the requirement given by the customer, so it is just a cosmetic defect. Okay. So it is not going to be affect on any functionality of the application, so it is called as cosmetic defect, or a UI inconsistency for a field, or a suggestion to improve the end user experience from the UI side. Okay. uh, so this is it with this video. Thank you everyone.